I really like to use this to make a well-fermented bread all the way from scratch, and I even make my own yeast, or I use the fermentation byproduct from taking the raisins, use well-tempered water, 80 degrees, add about 50% of sugar to it, as well as some malt syrup.
Do the sugar and malt help it ferment a little more quickly?
Yes, it's food for the yeast, or it's going to help the yeast to activate rather quickly. And once, if you would stir this please for me, once this is well mixed, I normally put it in a plastic container, which I keep well covered with a saran wrap on top. And what happens is after 7 days, you have the raisins, which you can see here nicely, floating to the top. Now, one of the secrets to this whole thing is that you stir the raisins every day, once at least, so the raisins are well covered and not getting moldy on top.
Really swollen.
And if you can smell this.
Ooh, is that pungent?
It's very pungent, which then, after my 7 days fermentation, I strain this. And the only thing I'm using is the excess liquid, which I'm going to use then as my natural starter in the pain de seigle bread I'm going to make. The raisins, they can be used, they can be washed, and you see how nice and plump they are. They can be added to any kind of cake or biscuit or batter for additional production.
So Klaus, how are you going to use this?
I'm going to use this as part of my artisan bread production instead of my commercially available yeast, because this great naturally fermented yeast now, which you, if you recall, it has this nice pungent smell to it.
It smells like Vinsanto.
Very much so. Don't drink it. Which gives you the perfect flavor profile in any of the breads you're going to create.